All right, it is 5:30. The Twin Cities Area Transportation Authority Board meeting is in session. Madam Secretary, can you call the roll?
Trustee Nesbit?
Present.
Trustee Hatchett?
Present.
Trustee Darrell Jackson?
Present.
Trustee Singleton?
Present.
And Trustee Robinson? Present.
Okay, we have a quorum. First item on the agenda, you need to approve the minutes from the last meeting. Any questions on the minutes from the last meeting, rather? No questions.
I make the motion to approve.
Motion to approve the agenda from July. It's been moved by Mr. Nesbit and second by Mr. Hatchett. Roll call.
Trustee Singleton?
Yes.
Trustee Nesbit?
Yes.
Trustee Hatchett? Trustee Jackson?
Yes.
Trustee Robinson? Yes.
Motion carries. Okay. Approval of the agenda for this meeting as presented.
I move.
It's been moved by Trustee Robinson. Second by Trustee Nesbit. Roll call.
And that was for the agenda?
For this
agenda.
Yeah.
Second.
Been moved and second.
Trustee Singleton?
Yes.
Trustee Nesbit?
Yes.
Trustee Hatchett?
Yes.
Trustee Jackson?
Yes.
Trustee Robinson? Yes.
Next item on the agenda is finance update, Hungerford. Mr. Marsky.
Good evening, everyone. So we're going to start with the balance sheet, and we'll go over that, hit on just a couple of highlights. We'll start with bank accounts. So that was $817,051.32. So this is up $84,000 over last month, and that is mostly due to multiple federal funds hitting the bank in July. So we received both April and May reimbursement for federal expenditures. Because of that, our due from the Fed is down. It's $267,356. That's down $90,000. So that's good, which you mainly saw that go up in cash, just the line above. Due from state is up $42,000 with the prior month. That is $233,818, and those are your big assets and the changes over the prior month. Nothing new to report in fixed assets; those pretty much stayed the same, other than typical depreciation expense type stuff. Liabilities, the things I wanted to touch on with liabilities are accounts payable. That's $228,174.97. That is up $186,000 with the prior month, and a lot of that has to do with the fiscal year 2024 reconciled payback. So that's included in accounts payable, and that's $145,000. That's going to be paid back over 3 months. So in August, you'll get you'll see that accounts payable go down about $96,000, and then there'll be that last $48,000 payment in October. That increase in accounts payable can be seen as a decrease in the due to state number, which is a little further down. Oh, I'm on page 4.
Okay, cool, I thought so.
Yeah. No, yeah. So the increase in payables is offset by the decrease in the due to state, which is a few lines down. And that due to state is now $224,192. So if you were looking at June, that was more up in like the 300,000 number range. And that's really all I wanted to talk to on the balance sheet side of things. So if we look at the profit and loss, which is page 6, starts on page 6. Total income, $2,615,080.64. Some noteworthy things there is fare box. I think those fare increases are starting to show some benefit in both June and July. In June, you were looking at $11,400, and then in July it was $11,200. And the previous 8-month average, you were averaging about $8,662. So those fare increases are starting to show some benefit. Other than that, State of Michigan operating grants, that's up $22,000 with the previous month. Total for that was $1,010,866 and some change. Federal grants revenue increased about $45,000 with the previous month as well. That was a total of $1,190,873 and 64 cents. That's pretty much the main comparisons I wanted to touch on for income. Now, if we look to expenses, total expenses were $2,655,773.71. The main things here that we want to touch on are labor. That's up $24,000 with the previous month. Labor? That's up $24,000 with the previous month, sorry. Total for year to date is the $1,418,432. Benefits pretty much stayed the same. We don't have to talk about that. Professional fees, $302,415. That's year to date. If you're just looking at that compared to the previous month, that's up $34,000. That did include some engineering expenses, which will be pulled down from a federal grant, so that will, that'll be matched. Accounting fees is up a little bit this month compared with the previous month. It included a special project where we were able to eliminate $120,000 off of the balance sheet in that due to state number. So that $120,000 was just able to get off the balance sheet. So that's a big benefit to Takata. We did receive a audit bill. So on page 8, there's a $14,300 expenditure. That is an increase over the previous month, right? So it's not every day that you get an audit bill. So that was for fiscal year 2024. Other expenses continues to be pretty high, which includes that loss on disposal of assets and then depreciation expense. So when you're looking at other expenses compared with the previous year, that is up $228,000. And then, of course, the other loss leader is the bus insurance, which is up $154,000 with the previous year. So all those differences between your expenditures and your income is what gets you that net income, which is, or in this case, a net loss of $553,728. That's a lot of info. Is there any questions? Thank you.
Motion to approve the financial update as presented.
I support.
It's moved by trustee Robinson, second by trustee Nesbit. Roll call.
Trustee Singleton?
Yes.
Trustee Nesbit?
Yes.
Trustee Hatchett?
Yes.
Trustee Jackson?
Yes.
Trustee Robinson? Yes.
Motion carry.
All right.
Next item on the agenda is the director's update.
So as Ryan mentioned, the fare increase established June 2nd is showing value. both with Fairbox, and also if you look at passenger ridership, you'll see that the numbers from July were a little bit more than June. So the fare increase isn't retarding our passengers. It's not somehow preventing them from riding. So that's good.
Yeah, it looks like the initial wave of, the initial dip after a fare increase that we anticipated might be climbing back up. So that's really good news. Hopefully we'll see it hit those, the 10 to 11,000 mark again. Yeah.
So you can see both the fuel report and the ridership report in your package. Seat belt compliance. We seem to be doing pretty well with that. We haven't had many operational issues or passenger complaints. Mr. Ford, do you have anything to say about seat belts?
No, they're pretty much putting on seatbelts if they're in exposed areas, so it's been going pretty well.
Air conditioning. We have sent out all the vehicles that had air conditioning issues, and to my knowledge, there are no vehicles in service now with inoperable air conditioning.
That's correct. Yeah.
Bullpen curb appeal. I don't know if you've had a chance to view the bullpen, but it does look better than it did, and we followed the recommendations that the board suggested. And so if you haven't had a chance to look at the bullpen, I would suggest that you do, just to see the improvement between when the recommendations were made and now.
Yeah.
Is Mark,
He sure is. Give me
Oh,
just 1 second to bring
okay.
him up. Give me just a second. I'm going to pipe you through the system. That's my microphone. I want this one. All right, go ahead and try to talk. Perfect.
Mark, what is the status of the accounting RFP? Do you have an idea when we'll finish that, or will we have an announcement by the next board meeting? So any questions to Mark about the RFPs that are on the street now? There's a RFP for the mobility services provider. There's an RFP for the external sealant on the building. And there's an RFP for accounting, which Hungerford is the vendor currently. Right. Thank you, Mark. So we have been in discussion with Benton Harbor High School about establishing a flex stop on the Colfax Circle. We've had a meeting with Mr. Morant, the building principal. He very much wants to do it. We have another meeting that he's going to arrange with the new superintendent, and that will kind of seal the deal. There'll be a sign, a place where the stop will be. It's designated to be right outside of the library, so all the way around the circle, and then right outside the library. And then there would be no stop at the main Colfax door because they're concerned about the traffic building up, right? They want people to go all the way around the circle and stop at the designated location. So you'll hear more about that, but that should be hopefully a done deal by the next board meeting. With respect to Harbor Point and Riverwood and even Amtrak, to a degree, we're going to kind of suspend discussions with those municipalities. And we are looking at potentially establishing stops, but those sites and locations are outside of the city of Benton Harbor. So we need to do a little bit more study of that to determine how we want to manage that. We discussed the mobility operations RFP, so that's actually on the street, and you have the schedule in your package for how that RFP will be managed. Are there any questions about that? So we did secure a vendor, TransPro, to assist us with the mobility operations management procurement, and they've done an excellent job. So I just want to put that on the record that TransPro has been very helpful in our securing of a mobility services provider. And then the last one is the site visit, and I just want to acknowledge that we have some guests from one of the companies that bid or will bid, and so we're just happy to have them here and interested in potentially bidding on services in our community. And they're national, so they're from Virginia and from Cincinnati, Ohio. So again, and probably during the public comment section, they can maybe stand up and introduce themselves and say a few words.
If they want.
If they want to.
Please don't feel pressure.
Yeah, no pressure, no pressure, no pressure. All right. So going into old business? So old business is east side stair repairs. We're still working on trying to get some proposals for repairing the stairs. Mark, are you still?
No, he's not.
Oh, okay. So we have an RFP out for that as well. And so hopefully we'll get some bidders. What we ended up having to do is we had to separate stair repair from drain repair in order to appeal to specific contractors. It was a convoluted job, and so by us partitioning it, it'll help us to get vendors for each of those repair jobs. So that's just kind of ongoing. And then the other thing that's ongoing is we're going to procure automated garage doors on both sides. So what happened yesterday, and I never experienced this since I've been there, I was just walking through the garage, and some kids on their scooters or motorcycles, whatever, they just went flying. Yeah, they just went flying through the building. I'm just coming out. I mean, they just went flying through. And so myself and a couple other people, we saw it, and so we're like, okay, once we get those automated garage doors, that'll stop that, right? So there's that. Yeah, there's that.
Roll through the garage.
Pardon?
They roll through the.
Yeah, they just rolled through the garage. It's flying too, right? If the
Yeah.
bus had backed up, right? If a bus had backed up, or they had hit a slick spot on the garage floor, there's many things, and then they want to sue us, right? So yeah, that happened. So we're going to have automated garage doors, which will open and close the doors. They'll help us with that, and also help us to save heat in the winter. Yeah, okay. So the last issue is now we're moving into new business, but it really isn't like just totally new or not unexpected, because we had discussed that there's going to be a need to form a new authority. Right now, Takata is an Act 55 authority, which is an older public authority in Michigan, and we want to move towards a Public Act 196 authority, which is kind of the newer types of authorities around Michigan. And so, as we've mentioned previously, we've been trying to enter in discussions with other municipalities about either rejoining Takata or forming a new municipality. And they have been somewhat responsive, but there really wasn't a framework for those discussions. So we have been banging the state. We've been asking the state, would you please send a letter to inform the other municipalities that we would like to form a new transit authority? And so the state complied, and here's what you see. All right, so if you look at the letter and you take what it says, it's saying that the state is really looking for the successor to Takata, which we know. And then when you see this target date of October 21st, 2026, that's a very aggressive date, so it's not clear that that will be able to be achieved. They recognize that that date is aggressive and might not be accountable, but that's better than giving a later date, because we've been going through this for years and years and years. So this dance kind of needs to end. And so by them putting that date there, that let these other municipalities know that, you know, you need to get your act together. And what has been occurring is the other municipalities want to complain and want to criticize transit, but what they don't want to do, which y'all know, they don't want to pay. Yeah, they don't want to pay. That is the bottom line. And
And when they make mention of Takata now not being stable enough for them to trust its operation, at the time that it was a solid operation they'd enjoy.
Correct.
So that tells who they are.
And that's going to be even an issue with this 196 authority, right? Because they're going to have to make a commitment. So that's what we're going to try to do. We're going to try to get them to make some kind of commitment, which up to this point hasn't been made.
That this 196 will prompt them to either put a millage out or some type or something, because that's kind of my reading of what it says is to, perform a public transportation authority, but it also has to have some certain local entities to levy property and taxes for this services.
Absolutely. So right now, Benton Harbor is the only municipality with a millage. And so what this letter does and what we're hoping to do is get these other communities by name, which would be Benton Township, City of St. Joe Township, Lincoln Township, Royalton, Bridgman, and even New Buffalo. We want to get them on the record for a financial contribution to transit. One of the big ideas is a countywide transit authority, but we want to take it one step at a time. So we're just going to focus on our urbanized area, and then we can discuss something bigger later. But that's kind of where we are.
Yeah, I mean, I think the only things I would add that the public, for example, might want to know is no promises, but if we can get the other municipalities to join in, it is possible that the millage could be lowered significantly for the City of Benton Harbor residents. Right, and that's great, because when we're all sharing the cost, we can distribute it appropriately, and that should both be a lower cost for the city residents and be a large take-in for the authority. The other thing I would add is early stages, so again, grain of salt, but the anticipation is that the hub of this authority would stay where it is. I mean, we can have great dreams about a new facility and things like that, but at the end of the day, this is the urban hub, the urban center of the entire county. So even the state has acknowledged that it doesn't make sense to move the hub. What are you going to do? Move it out into the middle of nowhere in the county where it takes so much fuel to get to the center? Right. That doesn't make sense. So I think in those ways, the city of Benton Harbor is in a really good position to benefit from these authority conversations.
I just want to say that when I first read this letter, I got a little scared.
Yeah.
But as I read what the Act of 196 says, it became very clear to me that it's time for others to partner with us
Yep.
so we can all move successfully and stop the criticizing.
Yes.
Because if, the bottom line, it takes money to run an operation, get others in it, we can be bigger. And if we can just let them see the vision. And one of the things I also thought about was, our community has been very vocal about keeping Dial-A-Ride in the city of Benton Harbor and retaining some of the ownership because it was created here by a man who had a big dream, Mr. Brown. And in honor of him, I'm just pleased that we are looking towards making this a better operation and actually getting people to the table. And, like the pastor said at the church, when a married couple gets married, what happened in the past should stay in the past. We need to move forward to the future.
Yep. And hopefully a combination of management services and working towards this new authority will really make a huge difference for the community.
I think also the need, has been demonstrated, over the years. And I think it also the city of Benton Harbor's commitment has been demonstrated too over the years, with the millage. And, definitely it is time to, get in the modern, era now, because, over the years, the needs have changed also. I'm glad you did mention, because that was one of my things too, that if these other municipalities do come aboard, that it is a possibility that the millage rate for the city of Benton Harbor will go down some, who better need it, but, they did, every time it came up for vote, they voted it back in, so that shows their commitment, even, it being a somewhat of a hardship, but they was committed, so it's good to hear that there's a possibility that we could be able to reduce some of the millage rate, so.
All right.
Any-
That's it
For that section,
Yes.
okay. All right, let's go back and a motion to approve the director's update, which included also old and new business.
I make the motion to approve it.
Okay, it's been moved by trustee Nesbit. Been seconded by trustee Hatchett. Roll call.
Trustee Singleton,
Yes.
trustee Hatchett, trustee Nesbit,
Yes.
trustee Jackson,
Yes.
trustee Cora, Robinson, yes.
Motion carries.
Yep.
Next item on the agenda will be chair's report, but we'll just move on to public comments. Is any public comments?
Do you guys want to introduce yourself, to at least say hello?
Sure, thank you so much to the trustees for welcoming us to your.
Yeah, can you come up to the mic, 'cause we are recording?
And also state your name and affiliation so it can be a part of the minutes.
Oh, of course, sorry. My name is Natalie Batinghouse. I'm the Region Sales Director for MTM Transit. We are based in St. Louis, Missouri, but I drove in from Cincinnati, Ohio yesterday. Thank you so much to Todd and Nick and Tressa and Mark for showing us around your facility today. We had a chance to ride the routes and really try to come up with a proposal. We're really excited to present to you next month to meet your vision and hopefully work towards your goals.
Hi, Jeff Cornwell. I also work with MTM Transit. I live in Virginia, so we flew out here. We're going out tomorrow. Like she said, we rode the routes. If you got a complaint from a driver, a Jeep following, that was us. So we were going around, we were taking notes and doing those things. And I just appreciate the opportunity. We wanted to come here tonight just so we'd have more insight on what you guys need and where your heart's at with things. And yeah, that's why we're here. So appreciate your time and allowing us to be here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comments? Ms. Louise? Any? Mr. Nick? Anybody? Okay. Going once, going twice. Public comment session is closed. That brings us to motion to adjourn till next meeting. Entertain a motion to adjourn.
I make the motion to adjourn.
Second.
I support.
It's been moved by trustee Nesbit, second by trustee Robinson. Roll call.
Trustee Singleton?
Yes.
Trustee Nesbit?
Yes.
Trustee Hatchett? Trustee Jackson?
Yes.
Trustee Robinson? Yes.
You are my dear friend. My name is Hatcher.
I was wondering about that too. I was like, is she gonna notice?
You know me well, too.
Hey, motion to adjourn. Motion to adjourn. It's been accepted.
Yeah, let me double check with Todd, but I think it's assumed as public knowledge. There's some other letters going around too, so, wait, do I have a copy of the letter? Yeah, she does, but actually I'm not, do I have one?